What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, all right? It's the 19th of January. Here we are at about $593 with roughly 8.5 hours left in the day. We've wicked all the way down to 562, and I wouldn't have guessed that would happen. That's crazy, crazy stuff that's happened. We've actually gone pretty low and back up again, all in the same day with very low volume. So some added volatility here, maybe some exploits in the low volume that was on Sunday and early Monday, right? Even though it's Monday here and we dipped all the way through right there, this is still technically happening on Sunday night for most people in the Western Hemisphere, right? Like that's not Monday. Whenever the day actually starts, it's still actually Sunday for almost everybody. I think for everybody in the Western Hemisphere, it's still technically Sunday. So this happened in a very low liquid, low volume environment. It was very easy to move the price down and thus back up, right? And we've seen this already, and I've addressed this, that it does seem a little bit more mechanical to the downside, as if there's some kind of pressure forcing the price down. Now, for what those reasons are, I don't know. I don't think that there's anybody who's trying to suppress the price of Bitcoin Cash so that it can't pump. I don't think they have that in their tanks. Maybe they're pressing it down so that people panic sell and they can hit their buy orders. Maybe it's to clear out liquidation, stop hunts. I don't know. Whatever it is, it does feel mechanical to the downside. But when we move up, man, it's crazy. It's not even close. What takes weeks to move down takes days to erase to the upside, right? We spend a week or two consolidating and moving lower. We spend 3 days moving up, and it just evaporates all of that. So I'm not worried about the price action at all. I'm very not concerned with the price action. We tried to move lower. We had no volume at all. I'm expecting that we will recover and that we will move up higher. If we look at this from a low here to a high here, we've gone below our 382 twice now, but looking like we're in good shape to close above it today. I think this is actually a very powerful signal right here that we will continue to move higher. But again, something that we've talked about even over the past few days, if I'm wrong, I said this about this low, so I'm going to say it now about this low. If I'm wrong and this isn't the low and we go lower, remember we said this the other, like over the last 3 days, we could bounce at 553. It's not uncommon at all for Bitcoin Cash especially to go just below its 0.5, somewhere between the 0.5 and golden ratio area, and bounce in here. While that is uncommon for a lot of cryptos, it's really not that uncommon for Bitcoin Cash. We could drop all the way down to 520, 510 and still be fine. I don't expect that we will. That's not my expectation personally. But it's something that could happen and we would still be fine. That's the whole point. So I do think that we'll recover. I don't think that we're going to go lower. We're going to try this again. I think that we have found our low, especially with that recovery right there. It's like a fake out and then an immediate recovery. It seems as though we found our low. But let's look at the short-term stuff and then we'll zoom out, okay? 1 hour time frame, it's choppy, it's sideways. We're not going to get clear readings on these indicators. Very neutral here. Bullish reset, so maybe you come down a little bit, but I don't know. Does that mean much? I don't know. Like you reset here. Whenever you came down, did you go down a lot? Not really. And then you reset there, and then you came up. Did you go up a lot? Not really. Like it's not reliable. I don't trust the stochastics in this environment. I don't trust the MACD either. So let's look at the 4 hour. A little bit more helpful because we have a little bit more of a dynamic here, but it's still very sideways and boring, so it might be still a little bit less reliable. But the stochastics are bullish technically. The MACD is bearish overall. I don't like that we've been building bullish momentum here, and I shouldn't say building. It's not really building. It's just more like we're lingering in this phase of bullish momentum for so long, but we're not getting any results. That does actually make me a little bit concerned. It does make me curious if we do drop lower. Not that we have to go below this low, but maybe we come back down and we fill that wick a little bit. Or maybe we do go below it, and then we find support and then we move up. I don't know. If that's not the low, don't hate me for calling the low here, right? I'm calling for this to be the low, but I'm definitely open-minded to the fact that I could be wrong on that and that we could go lower, okay? It's very possible. I'm not seeing enough in the charts right now that convinces me that we're ready to move up, and in fact, what I am seeing in the charts actually kind of gives me the vibe that we might move down. So just be open-minded to that as well. We look at the daily time frame here in the RSI. While we were expecting a 40 level bounce right here, we were expecting the bounce off of that. We rejected, we came back down. That's not a good look. It's nice if we can hold the 40. If we can bounce up from here, it's nice if we can close today green and the subsequent days afterwards green. That'll look nice on the RSI. But if you bounce off the 40 and it doesn't do anything for you, that's typically a bad sign. And we can go to the oversold zone. We can go lower. We can absolutely go lower and still be fine. It's not my expectation, but it can happen. And again, maybe we should just keep it as simple as we can with the fibs. Bitcoin Cash actually loves to find support just below its 0.5. Or resistance sometimes. Let's just see if we can find an example of this high to low right here. Right there, golden ratio support, it was perfect. Okay, right at the golden ratio. So that's not the example I was looking for, but still right at the golden ratio. We take this low to high. You found resistance here, just below the 0.5, kind of like where we are now from a support stance, but a little bit different. Let me just see. Golden ratio support there, not really that prominent in that phase there. Let's just see. Let's look and see if we can find something else. High to low here, right up at the 0.5, pretty close. You know, the same kind of situation that we're seeing now. Right there at the 0.5, just above it. I mean, Bitcoin Cash does like the 0.5 as well. Maybe less going through it and more just right to it. Let's just see. Taking this high here to a low here, right to the 0.5. So maybe not through the 0.5, although earlier in like 2024 and 2023 that was pretty common. Maybe we do just go right to it. And that would be at about $553. Maybe that's the call we should be making. I don't know. I made a video like this, pretty similar to this, I think, for Bitcoin, where we were doing our analysis. We got to the end of it, and I was like, you know, I don't know which way we're going to go. I have a strong feeling, a strong belief, and confidence that we will move up overall. But is this the low? Could we move lower? I mean, we could. It might not be. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. Is this the low? Could we move lower? It could be. We might not. I feel like it's really easy, even somewhat obvious, to call for this to be the low here. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what if this was a signal that we might come back down here and maybe even go a little bit below it? Because oftentimes enough, that's what happens. I mean, imagine here, right? Imagine you're here, and you're looking at this this candle, and you're like, oh, obviously that's the low. And I probably did. I probably thought that was the low right there. Oh, we found support here. We got a slightly lower low. We faked out, and look at the recovery. Boom, that's the low. No questions asked, right? And then we move on with our bad selves, and you see, boom, it actually wasn't the low. We went a little bit lower, and then that was the low. That was low, and then we moved up. So what if we're in that environment right now, where it's a convincing low, it's a compelling low. Now we need a compelling drop to scare people out of their bags, and then once we bounce off the 0.5, that'll be where we recover from, and then we move higher. I mean, an overall 0.5 bounce isn't anything that I'm afraid of. So 553, 526, somewhere in that area. We could go to the golden ratio. We've seen that happen before as well. I guess at this point I'm more convinced to make that call. I don't know. I could very well be wrong. It could be the wrong assumption to assume that we go down here. I feel best saying that we're just in a wait-and-see environment. I don't really know. I have opinions, but they're on both sides of the coin. So I'm just going to say, if we get a day to close above 620, we become bullish. If we get a day to close below 582, we become bearish. Where do we become bullish to if we close above 620? Well, depends. Something above $700. It could be a lot higher than that. We're waiting for this massive breakout phase at any single moment that's going to take us to multiple thousands, even $3,000 or more dollars, right? Probably within a 1 month time frame from whenever we really start this kicking this move off and breaking out. Or maybe we just go to 700, we consolidate, we do the same stuff that we've been doing, you know what I mean? And then eventually we get our freak on. I don't know how it's going to look. But if we break out to the downside, if we close below $582 at the 382 there, if we close, not wick, but close below that, 553 to 510 is a likely target area that we should designate for support. And I doubt that we go any lower than that. And then still, from there, all those upside things that we just talked about would also happen. So I don't care how it happens. It's going to happen one way or another. Do we go lower from here? I'm not that confident that we do. I'm not that confident that we don't either, though. So I'm in a wait-and-see environment. It's very rare for me to do analysis and come up at the end of the day and just be like, flip a coin. I don't know. But we're in that kind of environment right now. We're in that tricky kind of environment where I genuinely just don't have an opinion other than if we break above 620, good. If we break below 582, bad. But it's really not that bad, right? I actually kind of hope we break below 582. I would buy more Bitcoin Cash if we do. If we go below 555, I will buy more Bitcoin Cash, I promise you. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. I'm sure I'm not the only person chomping at the bit to buy more Bitcoin Cash. Things are bullish overall, right? We look at our long-term time frames, our weekly time frames, our monthly time frames. Things are bullish overall. The game plan is still very much intact. We are on the precipice of moving higher, and it's going to be a glorious move. It'll be the most, as I've said for years now, this will be the most bullish move, the largest move, the most explosive move that Bitcoin Cash has ever seen and potentially will ever see in its whole life. That's what we're getting set up for. So if before we get to that, that means we have to drop a little bit, we got to drop like 10% from here, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Again, I'm not calling for us to go lower. Overall, the call is for us to go higher. But just be prepared for anything. Take care. Bye-bye.